fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here for today's WIP and Chat. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. WIP, W-I-P, stands for Work in Progress, and this is mine. You are welcome and encouraged to go grab whatever you are working on and work alongside while I chat, or alternatively, you can treat this as a podcast and just listen while I chat. Since it is now November, I am starting on my DP for Veterans kit, my Poppies kit for our DP for Veterans Diamond Paint Along. So those of you who are still working on your holiday theme stuff from October, no worries. You have all month of November to get anything done that you want to for veterans. So I'm going to get started with this one. Let me zoom into where I'm going to be working and I will be right back. All right. This whip and chat is going to be a little different than the ones I've done. I haven't done a partial in so long. I did my Goofy Diamond Dots earlier this year, and I did the Mandalorian one, but those were both quite a bit earlier in the year. So anyway, this is the one I'm going to be working on. So let me get started, and I will start with my life update. So what's going on in my life? Not a super ton. We have just been doing various things. I guess since the last time I talked to you guys, I was going to go to the book sale. I did that. It was huge. Fun, but also not quite what I expected. Lots and lots of books, but I was hoping to maybe find some old role-playing books. They didn't have anything like that. Most of the sci-fi fantasy was not things I was interested in reading. They had a true crime section, which I was excited about, but they had maybe 10 books in it. So just not as many books as I was hoping for. But hubby bought a couple of DVDs. I got a couple of biographies. I found a book on Queen Victoria. I found a book on Catherine the Great. And I found a book on J. Edgar Hoover. So I'll be reading all of those. And then because I'm Kennedy obsessed, I also got a book on the Warren Commission's report, which for those of you who don't know, that was the commission that studied the assassination of John F. Kennedy. And then there's another book that has to do with J. Edgar Hoover and John F. Kennedy and all that stuff. So I have some good reading in front of me, although I realized I'm going to have to get some kind of book light or something because I'm so used to reading on my iPad. And of course, it has, it lights itself so I can read with no lights on. Because of that, I mean, our old bedroom, we had lamps, but we really never used them. Now we have fairy lights that we turn on, and that's enough light to see by until we decide we don't need them on anymore. But I have to say the last couple of weeks, there have been a couple of nights where I've stayed up until like 3 o'clock in the morning reading. But I can do that with just my iPad, and if I turn it away, then it doesn't bother my husband while he's sleeping. So I may have to figure out something for that. It's been a long time since I actually held a real physical book in my hand, but it was fun. We enjoyed it. We had a good time. I also picked up a few books that were basically on the various provinces, like tourist destinations and stuff. So maybe I could plan some trips and things to go see things that maybe weren't on everybody's tourist list. I don't know, we'll see. And if I'm diamond painting outside the frame, I apologize, but I know a lot of you don't even watch, so hopefully it's not that big of a deal. Let me get some of these colors so I can get back in there. Then there was the saga with hubby's power washer. So hubby's been looking for a power washer because he loves playing with them. And we sold ours before we left. So he wanted to get another one up here. And he found a really good sale on one that he'd been looking at, so he ordered it. Ordered it online, and it was supposed to get delivered to our house. Well, he gets this notification saying that it's been delivered. And we're like, it hasn't been delivered. And of course, they take pictures of where they deliver it. So we look at the picture, we're like, that's not our porch. I don't know where that is, but it's not our porch. So he contacts both FedEx, who did the delivery, and the place that he bought it from, which was like Home Depot or one of those home improvement store places. And they said they'd look into it. Well, FedEx, after a couple of days, gets back to him and says, we show it was delivered, blah, blah, blah. We're like, it may have been delivered, but it wasn't delivered to us. We live on a main thoroughfare. I think I've told you guys this before, that goes through several different towns. So the name of the road doesn't change, but the name of the town does. And to make it even more confusing, because our lawyer told us this when we bought the house, that it's confusing for people who are doing like real estate stuff, surveyors, that kind of thing, because it's the same street name, but there's like 4 or 5 little towns on this road, but the numbers start over in every town. So the same address, except for town name, like 4 houses may have the same house number and the same street address. They're just in different towns. Hubby was like, I'm going to go sleuth around and see if I can find this. So we drove around to some of these other little towns trying to figure out where it would be. And it looked like it had been delivered on like the porch landing of somebody's like old camper van or something, like a really old 70s, 80s style camper. So we drove through all of the towns that are south of us, didn't find it. So we decided to go north. First town, nothing. Second town, nothing. Third town, found our address, just in a different town, but same number, same street address. And sure enough, sitting there on this deck by what looked like a vacant camper is his power washer. So he goes up to the door because we don't know if anybody lives there or not. I think it's somebody's like summer RV camper that they live in. So they're down here for the summer because it's pretty close to the water. And then when summer's over, they go back to wherever they actually live. So, me from America, I'm waiting for somebody to leap out. What are you doing taking stuff off my porch? Blah, blah, blah. Nobody was there. Nobody came out. Nobody said anything. And he comes back with this package. And I said, does it have your name on it? And we look at it. Sure enough, there's the sticker on it, his name, our address, our town, but it was delivered to the wrong town. And if the delivery guy was new, maybe he didn't know that, but you'd think that would be something they would be sure and mention like during your training. Oh, by the way, this is a thing around here. I mean, I get that learning your way around is kind of crazy. There's so many twists and turns around here, which I am not used to because as someone who grew up in the States and grew up in Kansas, all of our roads are 90 degrees to each other. A road runs north and south or it runs east and west. There are very, very few roads that curve around or change names or do any of that stuff. There are some, but very, very few and far between. So around here, when it's like you have to, curve around 6 different places because of all the water and the beach and the bay and all that stuff, it's like, yeah. Ugh. Anyway, so that was an interesting day. Then I got in the mail, my sister had mailed us some stuff, and I get in the mail a notification from one of the big three credit brokers. What are they? Equifax, TransUnion, and what's the third one? Equifax, TransUnion. There's a third one. Why can't I think of that? Equifax and TransUnion. I'll blurt it out at some point. It'll come back to me and I'll just blurt it out and you guys will know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I get a thing saying, oh, sorry, we've had a data breach. Here, we're giving you monitoring for free for 2 years or something. And I'm like, seriously? How are we supposed to keep our data protected if the people that they make you disclose it to, like these big credit companies, doesn't even bother to keep it safe? Like, I'm just so frustrated. I mean, I'm going to take it up on it because now that we're not in the States, it's a little more difficult for me to keep track of because things are weird. Some things I have no problem logging into, and then other times it's like you can't access this from your location. It's like, what do you mean I can't access it? I thought the internet was global. Anyway, yeah, I was just annoyed. Also, I'm waiting to see if anybody else gets one. And it's like, oh, don't worry about it. Your credit card information wasn't released, just your date of birth and your social security number. No big. I was like, yeah, great. Only the actual things that people need to steal my identity. Awesome. So annoying. We're still trying to get ready for the dogs. I've had several of you send me messages and things about what you guys are doing for insurance and food and all that kind of stuff. So thank you to everybody for all the info. We've been looking around at various stores and trying to figure out where we need to get stuff from and all of that. But hubby was out looking around. He did find a little like cage thing to put in the back of our vehicle. So on the day we pick them up, they can ride back there just in case they're having issues. But we still wanted an actual crate for our house for those times when all of us are going to be gone. Hubby was out on Facebook Marketplace and he found a guy that was selling, it's basically a brand new crate when we went over there, he was selling it for less than we could have bought it new, and it was big enough. The ones that we had looked at before were not going to be big enough. So we went over to the guy's house to pick it up, and he's like, "Yeah, I brought it for my Labradoodle, and she tried it for one night and was having none of it afterwards." So he's like, "I just need to get rid of it because she isn't using it and it's taking up way too much space." So then we get it home, and I'm like, "Okay, it's definitely going to be big enough for the dogs, probably both of them if they both want to go in there at the same time." But then I was like, where I'd planned to put it, I suddenly realized, oh, it's not going to fit. Because my original intention was to put it upstairs in our bedroom, kind of off to the side. Well, we've added furniture. And so if I put it where I was going to put it originally, it's in front of the dresser drawers, so I can't open the dresser drawers. And then I was like, well, we could move it over here, but then it's in front of the baseboard heater, which we don't really use, so that's not really a big deal. But then I can't open our closet doors, which is a big deal because that's really the closet we use the most, because it's the one that has the hanging bar for all of our hanging clothes. So not having access to that is kind of like, So yeah, I got to figure out where we're going to put it. I think what I'm going to do is just put it upstairs, kind of on the other side of the loft, which is more like the office side. But I told my husband, honestly, I figure after the first couple of days, once they realize they can sleep on the bed with either my husband and I or with my son, they won't be sleeping in the crate anyway. But we'll see how it goes. I don't know how long it's going to take them to adjust, so maybe that won't go as smoothly as I hope it will. But I hope so. I also hope, since they're already kind of friends, that because they've spent time together at the shelter and they know they're coming to the same place, so they've had them kind of spending time together, that maybe their adjustment will be a little bit easier because there's two of them. Okay, I was trying to look and see, but if I stay right here, you should be able to see most of it. So that's where I'm going to stay. You guys, the weather has been crazy. I told you they postponed Halloween to Saturday because it was going to be so crazy. It rained all day Friday and a pretty good downpour, but like pretty steadily all day Friday, which was great because we definitely needed the rain. But they also said it was going to rain all weekend, and it hasn't really rained today. It's kind of sprinkled a little bit here and there, but nothing other than that. Uh-oh. Oh no, I'm doing the right one. I was like, okay, I thought this was a heart, and suddenly I realized it was a triangle, and I was like, oh no, I picked the wrong one. No, I didn't. I'm good. It's all good. Okay, panic over. What was I saying? Oh, the weather. However, they had also issued a wind advisory and told everybody to put things away on your deck that might blow away, that sort of thing, because the wind is supposed to be really gusty. And it was. Hubby and I went grocery shopping on Saturday, and while it was nice not getting poured on, it was super windy. You know, those days where you go to open your car door and you can barely open the car door against the wind, or when you open it, it flies out of your hand and you're afraid you're going to hit the car next to you. And it's not a steady wind, it's just gusty, so we'll see. We're supposed to be heading up to my mother-in-law's later today. My brother-in-law is turning 70 something. I don't know if he really keeps track anymore. I know I stopped counting somewhere around 45. It was just like, it's just another year at this point. I don't need anybody to keep track. Hubby and I also have our anniversary coming up. So he was like, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, I don't know. We're old. I don't want to go anywhere or do anything. I mean, we could go out to a nice restaurant or something like that. We talked about doing that and then going to a movie or something. But I don't know if there's any movies out that I really want to go watch. And honestly, I'd have more fun just staying at home. Just let me read or diamond paint, relax, sit on the couch together while we watch the fire in the wood stove. That sounds like way more fun. We'll probably go out and eat somewhere, but I did while we were out today buy a pumpkin pie. I'm going to make the pumpkin pie trifle and take that to my brother-in-law's for, why did I miss that one? Dang it. Anyway, I bought a pre-made pumpkin pie and I'm going to cut it up into chunks and then I'm going to try making a trifle with it. Just layer it with pumpkin pie, then whipped cream, then pumpkin pie, then whipped cream, and maybe save, I don't know, some chunks to sprinkle on top. My son thinks I'm nuts, but he doesn't like pumpkin pie, so I think he's the one who's crazy. I like the recipe my mom used better than store-bought ones, but I figure this way we can try it with the store-bought one. If we like it, then it'll just be better when I use my own recipe. If it's not great, then we'll be like, okay, not an experiment we need to repeat. and I'm not out baking a pumpkin pie and using up all this stuff. Oh, is that that same color? Maybe that's my diamond that went missing somehow. Yeah, that goes there. Okay. I was going to say, I didn't think I'd missed one. Must have stuck to my pen somehow or something. Anyway, so I'm planning to do that. I figure we asked if we could bring anything to his birthday party, and they're like, no, no, we have the food all covered, which my other brother-in-law likes to cook, so he usually has everything. But I told my husband, we're just going to take this for dessert. You can never have too many desserts, right? Nobody's going to be upset that I brought an extra dessert. Because he was like, well, we could bring, garlic bread or something. I'm like, you don't even know what we're having. Maybe garlic bread wouldn't be good with it. I don't know if he's grilling outside because it's still warm enough to grill, you guys. It's crazy. We're coming up on almost a year that we've been here. And when we got here last year, there was already several inches of snow on the ground. So far, nothing. So I told hubby, maybe this is how it's going to be from now on. Maybe we're not going to have to worry about all the snow. And everybody told me that last year was super mild, so I guess I'll find out what this year's like. I mean, I would be okay with less snow so I didn't have to drive on the roads in it, but it's really nice. And now that the days are getting shorter, also, if you forgot, don't forget, daylight savings ended today for those of us, at least in the US and Canada. So don't forget to set your clock back an hour because who wants to show up for work Monday an hour early? Not me, that's for sure. I wish they would just pick a time and stick to it. I don't even care which it is, spring forward, fall back, whatever, just pick one. The days are getting shorter. We've gone from, I think when I checked today, it was like right around like 10 hours and 5 minutes or something that we've lost. No, not that we've lost. That's how long the day is going to be. But we're losing a couple of minutes every day now. And once we fall back, so like right now it's getting dark around 6:30. So once we fall back, it'll start getting dark around 5:30. And before I know it, it'll be getting dark around 4:30 again, which is exactly how it was when we first got here. So, but yeah, I was telling hubby there was way more snow on the ground when we got here than there is right now. He goes, yeah, you're right, there was. Also, while we were out shopping, I was looking at other people's car registrations because I know ours is going to be due. Well, I thought it was going to be due soon because we got here in November, and I'm pretty sure we had all that rigmarole with his trying to get the car imported, and we had to take that trip back to the border and all that stuff. His isn't due until December, which means mine should be due after that. But as we were walking through the parking lot at the grocery stores, I noticed that the Quebec license plates don't have the little tags that show like when you have to renew your registration. So is that not a thing? Or are they like Texas? You don't have to renew your license plate once you get it. It's just there forever. Inquiring minds. I was trying to find a book at the book sale about the history of Canada. They had a couple, but they were really big and heavy. Probably should have got them, but I didn't. But I definitely need to do some reading on the history of Canada. Hubby has been watching the CFL is into the playoffs now, so he's been watching those games. And of course, my youngest is watching all the college football games, and they've both been watching the World Series, which is, I think, just because Toronto is playing, because hubby's really never been interested in baseball before, but neither is my youngest, so who knows? I'm kind of trying to stay right here in this section and not get too far off the side so you guys can't see what I'm doing. I'll have to go back and fill in some of this sections off to the side, but that's fine. It'll be pretty funny going to my brother-in-law's birthday. He cracks me up. We don't agree about everything, but every time he sees me, he's always, hey, how are you? And I said, I'm good. How are you? Pretty good for an old guy. He's old enough to be my dad, but he's a few years younger than my dad, but he's old enough to be my dad. And I will be inviting them up to our house for American Thanksgiving. We'll see if anybody accepts my invitation. I really wanted to do it on Thursday, so we were actually doing it on Thanksgiving, but some of them work, so that's not a good day. A lot of them don't like to be out at night because they're older and they don't like to drive at night. So I think what I'm going to do is make it on the regular Sundays is when we usually get together for meals. So everybody doesn't have an excuse. And then we'll do it at like 2 o'clock or something since it's getting dark so early now. And we'll eat a little earlier than normal so everybody can get home before it gets dark. And then we'll see if anybody comes or if I cry because no one wants to come to our American Thanksgiving. If nothing else, I'll probably do it anyway, but a video call with my oldest and my sister. My sister wasn't sure what they were doing. And she's like, oh, I just don't want to cook. She's not sure my brother's going to be able to get off work to come. And I'm like, he should be able to, but sometimes he goes to his in-laws. He and his wife switch it up. 1 year with our family, 1 year with her family. I'm not sure whose year it is this year. She's like, I just don't want to cook if it's just going to be us and my oldest. And I said, well, just if you don't want to cook, just order something from somewhere. That way you don't have to do anything but have somebody go pick it up and then you guys can just spend some time together. Her hours are different with her new job, and her youngest has really been struggling because he's spending more time alone right now and he's lonely. So he's also been feeling kind of puny over the last couple of days. So hopefully he's starting to feel better. Is that everything I wanted to tell you for my regular life? I think so. So then I need to talk about my diamond painting life. What's been going on in my diamond painting life? Well, I finished 2 projects. I finished my little baker kit, the one that was super big, like 99 by 70 or something insane like that. But she turned out so well. I was so happy with her. And then after I finished her, I finished my Naoko, which was yesterday's video. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out. And I was super happy with Naoko as well. The black drills were kind of trashy, but other than that, the rendering on it I think was so good. And it was just nice and bright and colorful. I really like the pinks of Little Baker, but it was really kind of all those kind of pastel pinks and everything. Naoko was more like really vibrant rainbow colors. So I think that was a nice change. This one is going to have a nice mix of like pastel, kind of these blues and yellows that I'm doing. And then when I get up into the reds, it'll be more vibrant. But I finished the 2 of those. And now we're officially into November. So I need to go back over my goals and see how I did and where I'm at. I'm working on this one, and this will probably be my whip and chat kit until it's finished. But then I'm also going to be working on my autumn sun kit. That is one that I got from Dreamer Designs, and it's also one of my stay or go kits. One of my goals was to do 3 of those this year, and I've only done 1 so far, so if I can finish that one, that would be 2. Since it's already November, I don't know if I will make 3, but it is what it is at this point. I've had lots of stuff going on this year, so it's all good. It's kind of funny now that we've been here so long, I kind of look back at some of the stuff and it's like, oh yeah, we had to go do that. And some of the things that I thought were just trials and tribulations that were never going to end. And now I look back and I'm like, oh, I forgot we even did that. Like having to make the trip back to the border to get the paperwork to import the car because they did it wrong, and waiting on our cards and everything, and finding a permanent house and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's been a crazy year. Do you guys do that? Like for a minute there, I was like, oh no, I'm putting this on the wrong symbol. Like I'll be working on the symbol, and then midway through putting them down, I'm like, uh-oh, did I do the wrong one? Is this the wrong one? No, this is the right one. Okay. It's like my brain has a split-second freak out, and I'm like, wait a minute. Crazy. Also, after doing Little Baker, this kit seems like it has almost no drills in it, which is a partial, so of course it's going to have less drills, but it just feels like it has next to none because each color has almost none. Crazy, I tell you, crazy. I'm also kind of waiting. I didn't buy anything again this month. I almost did because I thought my points at Dreamer Designs were going to run out, but they didn't. I did a review, so it refreshed them, and I figured out where it tells you how long they're good for, so I'm good there. So what I'm hoping is that, and this is probably crazy because been working all year and getting my stash down, but I want to finish up my older kits so that I can buy the newer ones that have the newer kinds of drills and the better kinds of drills. That's been the hesitation in working on some of my older kits, is that I know because they're older, the drills are not going to be as nice. So it's just not that it won't be an enjoyable experience, but I know things are going to be gappier. Some of the drills will be trashier just because it's an older kit. But I don't want to just not do them either. I mean, some of them, there are a couple I know that I'm like, my tastes have just changed, and I'm probably not ever gonna do this kit. Even if it was the last one I had, I'd probably be like, "Nah." But I got off on a tangent there, surprise, surprise. I'm hoping, since I really haven't bought anything for months, that there's gonna be something in all the new releases for Black Friday and Cyber Monday that I want to get. I have points I can spend. Plus, I'm hoping there'll be some decent points off. Isn't it usually like 30% or something for their sales? So I could do a couple of orders and get 3 or 4 kits from different places. I've got some stuff wish listed on Diamond Art Club and Dreamer Designs, but I also want to look at Oraloa. And then I just saw that Bella Art is going to be releasing some new kits yesterday, today, tomorrow, something like that. So maybe they have something I want to get because their kits tend to be smaller. The ones from Dreamer Designs and Diamond Art Club tend to be a lot bigger, and the smaller ones are just more manageable for me in my current diamond painting space. I mean, I'm making do. I managed to finish Little Baker, and that thing was huge. But anyway, I'm hoping there'll be something that I want in all the new releases. So, do you guys have big plans for Cyber Monday, Black Friday? Have you been saving up, waiting to see what goes on sale? I looked yesterday to see if there was anything that I wanted to get, and there just really wasn't. And I probably shouldn't buy anything on Black Friday or Cyber Monday because, like I said, I've been spending all this time working on getting my stash down, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what I feel like when the sale rolls around and what comes out as available. I've been looking at my goals for this year and what I think I'm going to achieve and what I'm going to miss. Also, what I want to do next year. I am going to change some things up for next year, so I'm debating on how to do that. And I'm trying to make more of a roadmap rather than just being like, I want to finish 37 paintings. How am I going to do that? Break it down into, okay, I need to finish this much each month and have it more set up like that, just so that I think it will help keep me more accountable. I don't know if it actually will or not, but that's the plan anyway. Because I also have a couple of larger projects, and I know that I did not do a good job with that when I've tried it previously. Like when I tried to with my previous Heaven and Earth that I finished, I was like, no, I'm going to keep this one out the whole time, so I'll work on it whenever I had a chance. And then basically it just still got ignored until I just sat down and focused on that one. Same way with my J wall. I was like, oh, I'm going to work on this throughout the year. And then it was like, yeah, this isn't going to happen until I actually sit down and work on this painting. But I never sat down and said, I need to do, well, maybe I did with the J wall. I don't know. In my head, if I break it up more, and if I write down like every quarter, this is how much I need to accomplish, that will keep me on track. But I actually think that I did that with the J wall and it didn't help. So maybe I'm just deluding myself here. I don't know. Anyway, I do plan to keep the diamond paint alongs going for next year. Everybody seems to have a lot of fun with those. And I love seeing all of the pictures in the Facebook group. I am terrible about remembering to post myself, but I'm trying to make that something that I need to focus on next year too, to remember that I post more often so that you guys can see what I'm working on. But I love your pictures better. So usually when I get in there to look, I get distracted. And then by the time I think about, oh, I need to post something, I have to go do something else. So, but I love seeing all your photos. So we have the Diamond Paint Along for DP for Veterans. And then we're going to take December off because December is nuts. All of the holiday stuff is just going to make everybody, including myself, crazy. Those of you who said you'd already finished your Christmas shopping, yay for you. I haven't even started and I need to do that. I've thought about it. Does that count? Anyway, so we're doing DP for Veterans and taking December off. And then for January next year, we will start out with a winter theme for January. And my goal was to do them every other month. So January, skip February, March, skip April. But because of where I put DP for veterans and DP for pets, there's going to be a couple of months where we do things in a row. So, like, we'll do March, skip April, we'll do May, but then instead of skipping June, we'll do DP for pets again. And I don't know if it's going to be a diamond paint along or an actual event. It just depends. But at least we'll do a diamond paint along so you can plan for that. And then we'll do one for August, skip September, October, and then November we'll do DP for veterans again, whether it's just a diamond paint along or an actual event. and then we'll skip December again. So what I'm planning to do is in the next couple of months, throughout November and December, I'll be putting out some polls on the channel here for people to vote for themes for next year. So for January, we already have our winter theme, so that leaves March, May, August, and October. In October, we could do drills and chills again, or we could do holidays again. I'm up for whatever. I'll have a list that we can all pick from. I want to make them as open-ended as possible so that people don't feel like they have to go out and specifically buy a kit for the Diamond Paint Along, just because I feel like there's enough pressure with all the other events. It has to be this, it has to be that, it's got to be a new start, it's got to be finished, it's got to be this size, it's got to be this artist, it has to be from this company, whatever. It's too many rules. It's too many rules about stuff. So doing these diamond paint alongs is much easier for me. I'm enjoying them way more, so I hope you guys are too. So yeah, be looking for those polls. I'll hopefully be posting those, like I said, here over the next couple of months. At some point, probably sometime in December, I will do a video on what my goals are going to be for 2026, because it is rapidly approaching. Can you believe that? Can you believe it's almost 2026? I can't believe it's 2025 and 2025 is almost over. I hadn't even got used to that. Now I have to get used to 2026. Okay. I got quite a bit done. I think this is good. Oh, I missed a couple here. I mean, I'm going to have to come back and fill in these sections on the outside, like I said, because I'm not sure they're in focus. I don't want to do all of those while you guys can't see what I'm doing. Okay, hopefully you could see most of what I was doing. So I'm working on the little saucer and teacup down here, and then I'll get to that. But I love diamond dots. All the drills are always so nice, and they fit together so nicely. For some reason, I feel like I spend less time straightening them. I'm not sure why that is, but I don't know. Maybe because there's not an outside border, really. I mean, there is, but you know what I mean. Thanks so much for listening to me ramble. Don't forget to leave comments about the stuff I asked about, which I don't remember, but that's because I'm old and my brain sometimes forgets things. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.